Welcome, world, to another episode of The Glory Hole. I am your host, Glory, where we talk all things hip-hop, raw, uncut, uncensored, unbiased, and at times, uncomfortable. The Glory Hole. It is time for another shot review, shot review, shot review, shot review. We will be reviewing one of the most anticipated rap albums of the year, Meek Mill Championships. This segment is brought to you by Jose Guerrero, the only tequila that can make a deep tissue massage feel like a hand job with sandpaper. Let's not waste any time. Let's get into it.
Pray for my niggas, all my friends. In the trenches, one with killers, we been getting it in. 32 shots in my new Glock. Niggas wanna hit me like I'm Tupac. Bad bitch fuck me in my Gucci tube socks. Remember when I spent my re-up on a hoop?
Meek is setting the tone for this album with his intensity, his delivery, with the content. I'm ready. Let's go.
Ain't got no money, you ain't online. Can't call your son, call your daughter just to wish them on prime. Oh God, don't let them streets get a hold of them. Your daughter fucking now, it's gonna be a cold summer.
Your daughter's fucking now. It's going to be a cold summer. I can honestly say this is a father's worst nightmare come to reality. I just don't know how I'm gonna be able to speak to my daughter about losing her virginity when she's 35.
Your son trapping to your homie giving no storm. And if you fuck that paper, I'll be putting holes through him.
That was a powerful bar. Meek is speaking from the perspective of an inmate whose son is now selling drugs, and the inmate's friend is supplying his son with the drugs. And if his son fucks up the money, his friend is going to kill his son.
Watching a black woman take my freedom almost made me hate my people.
Meek is not holding back. He is exposing himself to the world. He says, watching a black woman, his judge was a black woman, or is a black woman, take his freedom almost made him hate his people. If that ain't real, then I don't know what is. Not everybody that's skin folk is kinfolk.
Knowing they might keep you and drive you crazy. 23 hours in a cell, somebody save me. I'm on a jail card trying to explain it to my baby. I gotta do the calendar twice and that's a maybe. Drama. I just want.
Wow. When it comes to creating a vivid picture of some of the stresses that inmates have to deal with, Philly has it locked. No pun intended. You don't believe me? Listen to Beanie Siegel's What's Your Life Like?
I do not fuck with your kind, no. I do not fuck with your vibe, no. I am a big boss, bitch. I do not come in your size, no.
Wow. I have to give a shout out to Cardi's ghostwriters because they did one hell of a job on this joint.
Screaming gang, now you wanna rap. Racketeering charges caught him on the tap. Looking for a bond, lawyers want to tax. Purple hair, got them faggots on your back.
I guess that line was for Tekashi, and it makes sense why Rick Ross would send shots at Tekashi. There's been a long-standing beef between correctional officers and inmates.
In the land of the free where the blacks enslaved, 3/5 of a man, I believe's the phrase. I'm 50% of Duce and it's dead free, yeah. 100% of Ace of Spade, worth half a beat. Rock Nation, half of that, that's my piece. 100% of title to bust it up with my cheese. Smokes my niggas.
When it comes to flexing, nobody does it better than Jay. Jay is basically telling you what he's worth. What he's worth in the perspective of racist white America, 3/5 a man, and telling you what he's worth through his business ventures. Jay-Z is not the king of New York. He is the king of hip-hop.
Jumping out the roast truck with the temp tag. I'm getting money, I don't get mad.
Meek says, I get money, I don't get mad. Perhaps this is the reason why I'm mad all the time.
And I ain't kind to preach. I just had to say something because I'm the one with the reach.
What you're witnessing is the evolution of a person. Oftentimes, we find our light in our darkest hours. Meek has found his light.
Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday,
Killer. This AK got so many bodies, I call it Charles, man. We was trying to find a lick, y'all niggas was somewhere dancing. Them young niggas still had respect when they was broke, The whole city know that 21 gang of smoke some. If you want to whack, it's gonna cost 10 nickels. Bring 100 racks, it could get done quicker. Desert Eagle bullet, same size as a pickle, straight up.
I like the song, but Meek has to understand content like this is not going to ride for too long. His opposition are actively looking for things to use against him, and he has to understand that. Not to mention, gun violence in the black community is a real issue. 21 Savage says his AK's got so many bodies, he calls it Charles Manson. In another line, he says his bullets are the same size of pickles. Meek is in a new position. He's an advocate. He's a voice for the voiceless. So he has to understand certain things cannot be said. And his opposition are looking for those things to use it against him. So I just want him to be careful. I know it won't be a problem now, but as he progresses in his career, it can potentially be a problem.
When you was going to bed, and if you think I owe you something, nigga, go ahead. Treat you like I never knew you, put it on your head, and I got Poppy on my life.
Amazing album. First 6 songs, very strong in message. He makes himself vulnerable to the world. He exposes himself to the world, giving you his perspective, his thoughts, his feelings behind bars. Very, very powerful first half of the album. Middle part of the album, he gives you a little something for the clubs, a little something for the ladies, a little something for that late night motel run. And near the end of the album, he ends it off with a strong message with the song Cold Hearted. Great, great album. I was happy with the features. It's hard not to give this album out of 5 shots. Out of 5 shots, this album gets 5 shots. Please pray for me. Oh, boy. Fuck. Last one. I'm gonna vomit. I'm gonna start reviewing mumble rappers' albums. Thank you for watching. I'm your host, Glory, and this was the short review